There's been a lot of discussion about falling birth rates in the US. It's not just a US thing, and there are reasons for it. My name is Melanie Trecek-King, and I'm a biologist and the creator of Thinking is Power. The number of births per woman is called the total fertility rate, or TFR. In 1800, the TFR in the US was over 7. Yes, the average woman in the US had 7 kids. This year, it's fallen to an all-time low of 1.66. For reference, the highest TFR today is in Niger at about 7. The lowest is in South Korea at only 0.78. Falling TFRs are a global trend. The reasons why are complex, but 3 key factors stand out. First, a decrease in infant mortality rate. Women have fewer kids when children are more likely to survive. 2, a decrease in poverty. When countries develop and people become wealthier, women have fewer babies. This transition generally coincides with urbanization. Rural families have more babies. While many of us think of kids as being costly, daycare, extracurricular activities, college, kids on farms provide labor. And 3, an increase in opportunities for women. When women can go to school, work outside the home, and have access to birth control, they generally choose to have fewer kids. The relationship exists for men too, but it isn't as strong or as consistent. Basically, when countries develop, the quality of life improves, and people, especially women, are more likely to have an education, have access to family planning, and they often choose to have fewer children. Here's an example with my own family. My grandparents were born in rural western Iowa over 100 years ago. My grandfather was one of 17, 4 of whom died before the age of 5. That's him with his head buried in my great-grandmother's lap. My grandmother was one of 6. Together, they had 3 kids, including my mom. My mom had 2 children, my brother, who has 1 child, and me. I have a cat. My mom grew up in a very poor and rural area. She didn't even have a flushing toilet. She was also the first woman in our family to graduate from high school, have access to birth control, and be able to control her own money. Women in the US couldn't open a bank account without their husband's permission until 1974. So why the concern? Lower birth rates can have broad impacts on economies, social support systems, national security, and so on. But remember, they're a reflection of an increase in the quality of life and of people's choices, especially women's choices. Nearly all developed countries are in the same boat. Some are attempting to solve the problem by increasing immigration. Others are incentivizing baby making by giving them money. Putin famously paid boys to men to encourage couples to get it on. As the only developed country without universal health care or paid parental leave and some of the highest childcare costs in the world, US families face even greater obstacles to having more babies. So, if we want to encourage women to have more babies, we need to understand why they're choosing to have fewer.